This episode is brought to you by Anchor. If you haven't heard about the Anchor app, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. For starters, it's completely free of charge. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more major podcasting services automatically. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, and it's everything you need to make a podcast in one single place. So go ahead and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Thank you and enjoy the episode. Hello, Draco, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Let me just sort out my volume. My apologies. You're a bit too loud for me.
No problem.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Need to hear your voice. Okay, welcome to the fourth episode
yes.
now. Devil. Time's gone quick. Fourth episode already.
Yeah, it's been quite quick.
Welcome back.
And fun. Quite a journey.
How you doing then? Yeah, quite a journey. Yeah. It's not so much a baby project now, is it? It's starting to develop.
Yeah, as we go along, we get learning more and better, and learning what to talk about, learning how to extend the conversation as well, which is nice.
Yeah, that's very nice. So, just the big topics this week. Of course, what straight away comes to my head is the death of Diego Maradona.
Yes,
football legend. So, rest in peace to him. That was quite a shock, actually. I know he did have a lot of health problems and stuff. Well, I guess we'll come to that, but it's a death that's shaken the football world all around and the world in general, I guess, because he was. When you think of football, he's one of the main icons you think about, isn't he? He's like up there with Pele and whatnot.
I mean, I went live on stream, and I didn't know about it at all. And whilst I was streaming, one of my friends came on the stream. Literally, literally a couple of minutes into the stream. That Diego passed away. I didn't know what he was talking about. Like, which Diego? Like it cannot be like. I didn't want to accept it. If you want to say like Maradona.
Yeah, it's like I was almost in denial about it. Yeah, I know he had health problems and he was alcoholic, things like that. But on the pitch, he was such a talent. It's a shame that he was only 16 years of age as well.
He had his problems, so it was a big shock for me. I personally, I was not young enough, you can say, or born even when he was playing.
Yeah, it's more in our parents' generation, like my mom and dad.
I'm being a huge football fan and watching a lot of football, whether it's via YouTube or watching programs around legendary footballers like Diego Maradona.
Yeah.
I knew and I appreciated how much of a player he was at his time. He single-handedly carried the Argentina team to that World Cup, which is really hard to do. And some of the things he does on the field, obviously off the field, he's a bit of everywhere. But some of the things he does on the field at that time, he's the type of player for me that can play in any generation. Like we talk about the modern football and versus.
Because he has that type of flair that works with any type of style of play.
He's like a player that kind of disrupts the normal footballing methods of playing, right? Because of the sheer talent. He was definitely ahead of his time at that time.
He was like the Lionel Messi of, as you can say, the previous generation, our parents' generation, in the sense that he could just carry his team single-handedly. He could just take on entire defenses by himself. If you see the way,
and to 60 is relatively a young age to suddenly pass away. He had his problems. He had his health problems, etc. I don't think he looked after his body that much, but
it's safe to say that he definitely let himself go after retirement. Like you see how he went really fat and stuff afterwards. People were saying it was probably only a matter of time, but at the same time, I didn't really expect it. It still came as a shock to me.
2020 sucks, man.
There's so many. It's not just in the world of football. You got people like Kobe Bryant.
I'm not a fan, but I know how much.
Everyone knows that he was a huge legend, and me being an NBA fan, I know how much impact that had on that community as well. You got Chadwick Boseman in the obviously film industry. You got quite a few.
And with the situation, not just the stars. Obviously, people being impacted. Normal people like yourselves and myself have been impacted.
Yeah, it's just as if the pandemic wasn't enough to
And one great gesture, I think, is that Napoli actually renamed their stadium after Diego Maradona, as he's a club legend of theirs. So I actually think that's a great gesture. But 2020 is such a crap year, man. A legend lost.
Like how I mean, like
scar us in a way.
I'm here thinking like, okay, we're almost in December. 2020 is almost done. Nothing can get worse. And bam.
Yeah, and he's just like, no, I'm gonna take my time with this. I'm gonna give you another tragedy.
I mean, just to wrap up on that part, because we don't want to dwell on too much. What a fantastic player he was. It was absolutely an honor to watch him, not live or anywhere near live, but
yeah, but I do remember him obviously being the manager of Argentina back in 2010, I think it was. And if you remember, just 2 years ago in the 2018 World Cup, he was every single Argentina game. He was there. I remember the match again. I think it was Nigeria. I guess France before they got knocked down. Lionel Messi scored that one where he took that first touch and then curled it in, and then Maradona those crazy celebrations pulling the middle finger up at the Nigeria fans.
Obviously,
it's
now
memorable, isn't it, really?
We're going to see over the next week or so. We're going to see as the Premier League and around the world football the weekend starts seeing, people are going to be, clubs will be tributing such a great talent he is.
Yeah, it's already been done over the
but one picture does kind of make me like wonder, like not wonder, like I think about that picture a lot. Like I've seen a lot of pictures around the tributes around the world already, but I remember seeing a picture of Boca Juniors, who is his boyhood club, and they literally turned off the whole city lights. Like you're talking about Boca Juniors, right? They turned off the whole of the city lights, and only one light in the city was on, and that was the Boca Juniors stadium. Inside the stadium,
the
Diego Maradona's VIP box.
Yeah. I saw Fabrizio Romano's tweet. That was only like lit in the whole of. That's quite special. It's quite a special tribute. And all the Argentinos sent into mourning.
So that's like a class gesture. And may his soul rest in peace. We do not know, obviously, if you're the believer of afterlife, if those of you that's listening or not, we didn't know where that things will be. But at least in the way that he was here in this world, at least he gave us great memories.
Yeah, rest in peace, Diego Maradona, definitely.
Okay, so I did send a message to Danny. I'm sure he read it. Today, I just want Danny to kind of go for it. Be on the forefront.
No pressure, then. No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure to me.
So, Danny, we have an idea of what we're going to talk about. As we talk about it, I've got obviously some articles open in my computer, Sky Sports, so we can pick up subjects as we go along. But the main subjects are obviously we're going to talk about. We talked about Diego. We're looking at the game ahead, weekend ahead, you can say. We're going to talk about the tier system that's being introduced by the government and what it means for the fans.
Yeah, they're quite controversial.
And,
I don't know.
I think, let's start off with this. So go ahead, you fire away. What do you want to start off with? Before you start off with, just for those listeners that's coming in and popping and listening, where can we find this particular podcast?
As routine, it's as soon as we finish recording this, I'll just edit the final touches and I'll put it around to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor.fm/GunnerandDevil. You'll find it in our Twitter links, and obviously you'll go on.
I'll put it in my description or pinned comment section, whichever I feel is easiest for me at that time. I'll put it in.
Oh yeah, we do need to invite some listeners in for. I'll keep singing. It needs to be done. Get those questions in, because I want it to be like have like a segment where we have like some funny type questions to answer as well. I think that'd be interesting.
Like I don't know. Like
let's share it.
I know last week Friday we did a show, right? I had such a busy week this week, right? I had no idea.
You do well. To be fair, it was
Sunday. Yes. I had no idea that how the week went so quick. I was so busy with work.
Yeah, it was actually really.
Yeah, I was absolutely shattered today to even stream. So my apologies to my streamers. What stream watchers. Like after work, I just fell flat. It was such a long week for me, but it went really, really quick because so much was going on at work. So much, I can't really go outside anyway because of the lockdown. But that work week I had, I completely lost touch of time. Like I completely. So I think.
Yeah. Hope you're doing well with it. Coping well with it.
It's anyway. Just obviously where I work, as with every other work, the December period, the Christmas period is important. More customers and blah blah blah. This is your time to kind of. So it was tough. Like not tough, but in a bad way, but tough in a good way. So I didn't know where my Monday started. When my Monday started, and I had no idea that we reached Friday, and I was signing off work, so tired. I just whacked straight into bed for a couple of hours of nap, you can say, to kind of rest up.
Yeah.
So.
Hopefully this week has gone fast. To be fair, especially considering we just the podcast episode only 5 days ago. It's gone quite fast, hasn't it? But yeah, still quite an eventful week. Obviously on the field with our teams and Champions League, Europa League. So how do you think?
Okay, so we played
Istanbul, wasn't it?
Nice question, and straight into the question. Nice. we played Istanbul, and the team that actually embarrassed us not so long ago away. I think,
yeah, exactly.
Yes, it was a reverse fixture, and we ended up winning 4-1. And
it's a decent performance.
What my review of the game is, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does not play with the two central defensive midfielders, like for 4-2-3-1, with two holding defensive midfielders.
Yeah.
When we let go of the shackles a little bit, it's amazing to watch. So I watched that game, and some of the football that we've played during that game, it was
sensational. Honestly, United were fun. I watched the game. You guys played. Probably a best
that's
season. Honestly,
good thing, Danny. A lot of people have said to me, and a lot of people I watch on YouTube, etc., or Twitter, they've said the same thing. Like it's probably the best performance that United has so far this season.
Yeah, easily. Because the first thing, like, I saw the lineup before the game, and I knew, wow, Ole's actually played his best 11 for the first time this season. Like with Edinson Cavani, I think with Martial, Rashford, Bruno, they all were in the lineup at the same time. With Donny van de Beek.
Yes.
I think bar Pogba, but I know United fans have been divisive about Pogba and the impact of him, but a lot of them have been debating that maybe Donny van de Beek is the next coming of Pogba. Maybe Pogba's time is over. I know you can obviously go into more detail about that in this episode and whatnot, but. Other than him, I think that was the best 11.
I felt it was our most balanced 11. Like, let me get this straight, right? Let me just explain myself, because you mentioned Cavani in that sentence, right? Martial for me is not a number 9.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I know a lot of people regard him.
Yes.
I don't think he's out and out number 9.
Martial,
he can score goals.
Yeah, Martial is a type of player that benefits from playing alongside a target man. So off the ball runs, the dribbling. I mean, his dribbling is really good. To play a number 9, to stick up there, his dribbling is nullified because he's next to the defenders, right? Him coming off the wings and cutting inside, just like what Rashford does for us on the left side, right? And having Cavani kind of be the focal point of attack and do a bit of 1-2 and move. Yes, exactly. He was fantastic. For me, Cavani was absolutely brilliant. Yes, he didn't score, he didn't make a goal or whatever, but some of the runs he was making, the pulling away of the defenders, the touches he was doing, it was the typical number 9 that we needed to kind of sit up there, distract everyone. Being a clever and experienced striker he is, just let Martial and Rashford run off him, and that's why I felt that Cavani really excelled for me. Yes, it's not by no means, I'm not saying he's his best performance ever, because he had some stellar performances, but that system absolutely works. He occupied that 2 centre backs all the time, and he was pulling to the right, he was pulling to the left. And generally speaking, having someone like Cavani in the air as the crosses come in, he's an absolute threat. And that's where I think that Martial lacks.
Exactly.
I think Martial, if he wants to be a number 9, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said it as well, he needs to be a better in the air as well. Unfortunately, Martial is not better in the air. Like some of the crosses that can come in, Alex Telles is one of the best left backs in the world.
Yeah, Telles is an absolute baller. I'm happy for you guys that he signed him. I think
100%.
He's better than Luke Shaw, but it's a question of who's Ole going to play? Cause it's like with like Hector Bellerin for us. Like he'll play him even if he has a crap game the previous. He'll still play him.
And I remember tweeting it out that when Daniel James scored the 4th goal, right? It was an absolutely brilliant performance. We had a bit of a 20 minutes period, 15 minutes period of the game where they were on top, but. I tweeted out saying that I'm so happy for Dan James scoring, because this kid, he deserves a goal for his confidence, right? He's coming from a championship club straight into the firing zone at a club like United with so much pressure, so much impetus.
Yeah, I was actually surprised with that signing. I think
Yes,
it was
I
more
think
one
Ole
for the
Gunnar
future,
Solskjaer,
with Dan James.
I think
So I guess you guys
Solskjaer,
were happy for the
knew
goal.
him, he watched him, probably got recommendations from his best friend Ryan Giggs, and a cheap player on the right side can
Yeah.
develop into a world beater, got the pace like a Ryan Giggs type. But I think for me, he needs time. He needs more time, and also I think he needs confidence.
Yeah, he's more a player for the
He needs
development,
confidence,
isn't
and for me, it wasn't important. I mean,
Yeah.
it was pretty much given. We were going to win against Istanbul. We had to get revenge, and we
I mean, you needed to. There's no guarantee, especially
Yes,
after what happened back in Istanbul. There's no guarantee with us
and
or
with
you.
that
So
result, it puts us on top of the Group H, and we are 9 points with PSG and Leipzig being 6.
your qualification isn't guaranteed.
So
we
still got PSG. We still got to hold PSG at home.
You still got PSG to play at home, isn't it? You obviously beat them away, which I thought was fantastic for you guys. But you got to welcome them to Old Trafford. And Neymar and
Verratti is also back, I think. And yes, PSG is going to be a tough game, but I think the way that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows his best system is playing with a 5-3-2 and playing against teams like City, PSG, Liverpool. So what he does is
that your guys?
What he does is counter-attacking defensive.
I guess
so
in the
what he
bigger
does
games,
in the bigger games against, say, PSG, Man City, Liverpool, Ole has employed a system playing a 5-3-2 formation, right? We allow the team to come onto us, have possession, and we hit them on the break. And that's been successful. We've been very good against the top teams playing that formation. Where the problem lies is the smaller teams where they defend deep. They're not going to push onto you. So how do you break into them? That's where Ole Gunnar Solskjaer kind of has problems sorting out, how to unlock those defenses. And we've got the personnel for it. So with Istanbul, we played a bit of a 4-2-3-1, but we didn't play with the 2 defensive holding midfielders. We played with just the 1 and allowed the rest, Donny van der Beek, Bruno Fernandes.
Let them.
We absolutely blew them apart. Some of the stuff that we were playing was so good to watch.
Yeah, and don't forget, even I was applauding Bruno's goal. In the Istanbul.
That was a brilliant goal.
It's like
that was a brilliant goal. I mean, Bruno Fernandes has carried us since he signed for us into now.
Yeah, I read a stat he's had so many a huge amount of United's goal and assist contributions since he signed.
I believe he is amongst the top 3 in midfielder in terms of how the stats wise assist and goals in Europe. So he's had a massive impact. So obviously we kind of say Bruno Fernandes scored a lot of penalty, but I did read that.
Yeah, it was Fernandes, but now he did score 2 goals the other day, didn't he? And then he gave the penalty to Rashford.
I mean, what I was gonna say is, did you know that since was it Bruno Fernandes signed for us since January to last month, I believe the stats were running. Only Kevin De Bruyne was ahead of him in goals from open play. So Bruno Fernandes, we say that he's a penalty merchant, but take away the penalty, he's still the second best midfielder behind Kevin.
Yeah, he's still a class player. I've never doubted him there, but he's especially start of the season, quite a few of his
he's associated with that. That's a bit of a banter thing, which I get, but it is what it is. Yeah. But I thought, going back to the game, I thought 4-1 was a fair result. I don't think we would have considered, but whatever. We got the goal. We're in good, healthy position in the Champions League. It was a fantastic performance in the midweek. Before we kind of go ahead and look ahead to the weekend fixtures, how was your game against in Europa League? All right, on Thursday. I didn't know Thursday.
I hate to have to discuss Europa League games. Can I just start saying, because I want to be with you guys back in the Champions League Tuesday, Wednesday nights. I can't believe it's already been 3 years since we've been in the Champions League, which, if you think about it, it's been mad. Since that 10-2 drubbing as Bayern. Not that I want to be reminded about that, but I mean, since then we've been in the Europa League. We've been close to winning it, but I mean, in 2018 we was in the semis. We got knocked out by Atletico, and then obviously last year under Unai Emery was in the final. I don't want to touch on that anymore, but this year we've actually had a pretty decent group compared to some other teams. We've had some we've had a really kind group in the sense that we can play our second string team, our reserve players. So we've actually been able to bring a lot of our youngsters.
You won 3-0 over the weekdays. Sorry.
Yeah. We won against Molde.
Yes. Pepe has redeemed himself a little bit by scoring.
Ole's old team. Yeah, Nicolas Pepe back into the lineup after that horrible red card. But he did publicly come out and apologise on Instagram like the day after. Like he said, I've let my fans down, my
and
coaches,
so he did, because he's
teammates,
now
everything,
suspended for the next 3 games, not in the Premier League.
Yeah, including the North London derby. So I don't know. It's going to take me some time to actually forgive him for that, because if we go ahead and lose that North London derby against Spurs next week, it could be curtains for us. Like, especially in terms of we're already in the bottom half after those couple of negative results, bar the United game. So yeah, we played a pretty young team. We played like the likes of Eddie and Ketia. We played Reece Nelson, who by the way had a great game. We played Joe Willock.
Joe Willock, looking at it, he's got 2 assists that day. I didn't watch the match, but I don't watch Thursday matches. But looking at the game, looking at the scoreline, I've noticed that you guys scored all in the second half. I mean, does that mean the first half was poor?
Yeah, like in the first half, Arteta definitely gave them some kind of like slap in the back, like, you need to do something, because in the first half it's pretty frustrating to watch. It was like the same, lack of creativity seen in the Premier League. Obviously, we're playing a lot of youngsters. Like, what I will say about our youth setup is very good. Like, we have a couple of like what we call Hale End boys, because our academy is called Hale End Academy. We have a lot of good players. Like, the obvious ones like Bukayo Saka and Reece Nelson. We got Joe Willer coming through. We had another guy, 19-year-old. He came off the bench, and I think it was 38 seconds after he came on. Following Balogun, remember the name, 19 years old. 38 seconds after he came on, he scored, and everyone was saying number 38 took his squad number 38. Fair. He took 38 seconds to score, and people were saying that maybe he's better than Eddie Nketiah, because we've seen what Eddie Nketiah can do, and maybe it isn't Arsenal standard, because at the moment he's not firing on all cylinders like he could do for us. That's what I think. So we have a good couple of youngsters. That's what the Europa League enabled us to kind of see that. If we had Champions League, we wouldn't be able to play all these. This luxury of playing.
Looking at the table, you guys are in a very, very healthy space. Like, you're on 12 points, having played 4.
Yeah, we are. I think we actually qualified for the last 32 now. But the problem is, it's going to get harder when the Champions League teams that will finish third drop in. And by the way, I think in Real Madrid's group, it could be one of Real Madrid.
Because they didn't have the best of starts, isn't it?
Could be crazy. Especially if imagine Real Madrid.
And even in our group, right, we've got Leipzig and PSG, right, both on 6 points.
Yeah, you guys are doing really well. Remember when you saw the draw?
We will qualify, but between PSG and Leipzig, one of them will definitely have to drop out, because they are both on 6 points and going to the next 2 games.
Yeah, one of them will come into the Europa League. So straight away there, you can see one of them. A decent teams dropping into the Europa League, which are. So when you get to the business end of even our competition, it's going to get spicy and difficult, because you got the third place Champions League teams dropping in. So it's never going to be easy road winning the Europa League. You got to respect that. As I know at the start it can be, you can get easy group like Molde, Dundalk, and whatnot. So when you get into the business,
actually end, a nice way to watch if you get into the business end. I do enjoy the quarterfinals and semi-finals of the Europa League.
Yeah, the Europa League ones get really spicy at the end, not just the Champions League ones. Yeah, so it's going to be a rocky road. I just hope Arteta's got a game plan ahead. We want to get back into the Champions League, and if we falter in the league, that's our insurance plan, isn't it?
So that neatly wraps up the weekdays fixtures. What else do you want to catch on, Daniel? What should we move on to the next bit?
I just wanted to show something. Like I think it was an hour ago or so, I saw a report that actually Wayne Rooney's been appointed as a coaching role.
Is that a permanent thing now? Because I know he was like a...
I don't know if he's permanent, but I heard that apparently him and his backroom staff actually going to take the reins. Like, and he said that he's actually ready to retire from playing. Like, if he gets the full-time role, what do you think about that?
I think he's got the characters of being a manager. He's a leader on the field. He was a leader on the field. He still is, I think. He's got the temperament. He's got the desire and determination. And I think starting at Derby, a club like Derby, being in the Championship, I think if he was to get into management, I think he will do well, because he starts off very low before going to the Premier League. Because Premier League is so demanding. See Wayne Rooney to be a manager. I mean, I saw it's like it makes me feel old, because I saw him as a 16-year-old come through. Like, I watched that game against Arsenal, and I signed him. And then suddenly he's a manager.
That debut.
I personally, for me, I mean, a lot of these players will probably go into management. You've seen the likes of Lampard, Solskjaer, Gerrard in that era.
Yeah. Even Lampard came to he managed Derby, so who knows?
Exactly.
After
And
Ole.
Wayne Rooney is actually getting a lot of experience with the added pressure of a manager, right? So he's done it before. He was a coach. He's a player coach, and if he's going to take over and kind of do his I'm sure he's done his qualifications, because otherwise he's not going to be able to get that coaching role. I think he's going to be a good manager. I think tactically.
Yeah. He's got that leadership role, hasn't he? And obviously tactically he's learned a lot over.
He's worked with one of the best, well, if not the best manager ever to grace football. In terms of his man management, I think he's going to be perfect. I think tactically he might not be the best. I think, but that's where your assistant manager comes in.
When you start,
that's where your coaches come in, right? Like if he recruits well and if he has a knowledge of the game, he'll recruit coaches that will be good attacking coaches tactically. He can just get on with the management. I think. Personally, for me, I think it will take time for Rooney, but it is a nice platform for him in the Championship, away from the spotlight of the Premier League, for him to kind of get experience and grow into the role. I can see him certainly becoming a manager of a decent-sized Premier League club. If not, if he gets Derby promoted, it could be them. You never know. But I can see him certainly taking over one of the clubs in the Premier League in the future. Maybe some like a Newcastle or Brighton or Burnley.
Maybe United someday.
So he's been a caretaker.
Why not?
So I mean, that's my thoughts on it. What are your thoughts on
it? I think it's you're seeing a lot of like players becoming managers. I like when that happens. Like it's like the next generation kind of thing. And I think, like I said, he's learned a lot of tactics off other managers. And I think he's at that age where he's just thinking, let me just wind down my career now. I'm at a Championship team. I haven't played for England in a while. When did he retire from England? I think 2018.
Like that. But he's the thing with retiring, right? He's still 35. So
I mean, some players could choose to carry on.
He's still
like
young,
Ronaldo's 35, and he's like Ronaldo's 35. He doesn't look like he's retiring anytime soon. But look at his physique. He's got a physique of a 25-year-old. You could say like. He probably carry on till he's 40, but that's another thing. So if you look at it like from that perspective, it's like how do players decide like if I'm ready to retire or not? He only said that he'll retire if he gets offered the full-time role also. Obviously it's like a trial, it's like an interim kind of role. So let's see how he goes with that. It could be the way into maybe
in the future. He's 35, being the age of 35 as a manager, is baby age. It's baby.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look at Mikel. He's like 37.
He went to manager at a young age himself, isn't it? Same with Solskjaer. He was a young manager at a young age, and these guys and Lampard, Gerrard, they're still young. They're young managers. These are probably the next batch of English managers, and probably in the future, you never know. You never know. Like one of them can go into manage in England, right? They are English born and bred. Lampard, Gerrard, and Rooney. They're learning a lot. You never know. Cool. All right. So I'm going to ask you a question actually. Now that I'll ask you the question, then we move on to the weekend's games and
previews and whatnot.
Paul Merson has come out recently saying saying some damning words. Actually, he came out and said that Arsenal are a mid-table club in the Premier League under Arteta.
I've heard about that as well. That's some pretty.
Some of the things he said is in regards to the Leeds game, like he said, Arsenal were a million miles off Leeds. Another thing he's saying is that Aubameyang brings nothing to the party, which is big.
Wow, that's very harsh.
Yes. Wow. Another thing he went on to say is that Arteta doesn't know his best team. I'm going to pick two things from that three sections that he mentioned. Do you think Arteta brings, Aubameyang brings anything to the party? And secondly, does Arteta know his best 11?
Wow, those are some pretty sensitive questions. I want to be careful how I answer those. But I mean, but the first one is like, it's just preposterous, really. How can you say that Aubameyang doesn't bring anything to the party? I know since I said it before, like on a previous episode, I think, like since he signed the deal, he hasn't. Other than the penalty, he hasn't scored anything from open play. But he could be something, I don't know, with the teammate gelling with him. You have to look at the fact that I said it before, and I'll say it again. Like there's a lack of creativity at this club at the moment. Like if he felt like someone like Mesut Ozil behind him, who's Sam Aouar, someone like that, like who feed him the chances. He's being starved of service. So to be a good, to be a good striker can't just be about you finishing all the chances. You need to get the chances. You need to get the distribution. If he's not getting that, then if he had someone behind him, then if he had a number 10, a quality one like your Hakim Ziyech, your Bruno Fernandes, then he'd be banging in goal after goal.
Yeah,
it's about the rest of the team you got to look at really. And obviously, why is Arteta exiling the?
To say something, we all know from the outside looking in that Aubameyang hasn't not scored many goals ever since he signed a contract. Those are facts.
Yeah, and bar the penalty at Old Trafford.
To say he brings nothing, like zero to the team, that's a bit harsh for me.
Yeah, that's very. I get that he's frustrated. A lot of Arsenal fans are frustrated, including me. Like in the Premier League, we've been faltering recently, bar the Old Trafford game. But the rest of the games have been pretty. Lackluster, you can say the least. So it's hard to say, but from him, it's really it's going a bit over the top, isn't it? Really, especially going about Aubameyang.
I mean, Paul Merson is a pundit I hate. I think he just babbles a lot.
Yeah, he's one of those babblers. Yeah, I gotta say that.
Yeah. Some of the pundits, right? They're absolutely bottle jobs, right? Like Scholesy, right? Some of the things he says is he's a great player.
He's a legendary player.
Man United, blah blah blah. Some of
good pundit.
He's just like, shut up, man. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, there's some pundits like that. What do you think about Roy Keane? Do you think he's a good pundit?
Roy Keane. I think Roy Keane is probably the best pundit in regard.
He's a good pundit.
Keane. I think Roy Keane, Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher. Those three I like listening to a lot in the Sky Sports studio.
Yeah.
Gary Lineker is good as well, but I think with Roy Keane, he says it how he is with no filter. And
even if it's about United,
he's a United. As much as he will not probably admit it, he loves United. You can see it by the way he speaks and talks about and the games and reviews them, and he just absolutely tears into the team. So I think some of the things that us United fans will say if we were in the studio, he says it. Whereas you got pundits like Scholes, just makes no sense, and Paul Merton and the tools that are ESPN tools. Like, I hate those guys. They have zero idea about football.
Oh, the ESPN guys.
They just want to bloody stay relevant, really. And I mean, Paul Merson said a lot of damning things about Arsenal. I was just reading this article. I mean,
what's he say about Arteta again?
So Arteta, he claims that Arteta doesn't know his best team, even.
I've heard a lot of Arsenal fans saying that as well. Like, I've seen there's like some Arsenal fans on YouTube saying that, like, there's a guy called Lee Gunner. And he's obviously in our Arsenal fan base, he's renowned as a guy that's very toxic, but only because he only says what he thinks is best for the club. Like he's really like the Roy Keane of fans on YouTube, if you know what I mean. Like he'll just say it as it is. He won't like hold back, even though he's a supporter of Arsenal. Like he's been abused. He's been called all sorts of things. Like why are you saying such bad things about Arsenal for? Are you a supporter? Are you like a fake fan? He said, I'm just saying what's best for the club. And he said things like he's the one that said things like tapas Pulis out, things like that. Like he said I didn't want Arteta anyway. I think a club of our stature, we should be going like Tottenham going for Mourinho. We should be going like that kind of stature manager, someone decorated. He said I'll back him while he's in charge, but at the end of the day, I do want him out for a better manager. And he said that he doesn't know his best 11 either. And to be fair, like it's a bit wish-washy, isn't it? Like half the matches he's playing one set of players, and then he makes some weird decisions, like starting Willian one day and then dropping Pepe another time and then dropping Saka. Like he didn't seem to know like a solid 11. I know it's a congested season. It might not be such a thing as one solid line. Even likes of United, and you guys have that issue as well. I think like rotating a lot. I think Arteta does that a lot as well.
Yeah, I said it with I think in episode 1, I believe. I can't remember the episode, but I just thought that you can see there's some positive changes that Arteta has made in the time that he's been versus someone like Umeru, or however you pronounce his name.
I
think he's still in his infancy. It's not been even a year that he's been at Arsenal.
So and it's not even been a year. So people are saying trust the process, because he's only young and he could come good. Like if you look at compared to like the likes, I know Klopp was decorated before. He won stuff with Borussia Dortmund and whatnot before, but the first 1 or 2 years, I think, is 2015, 2016. Like he had a pretty dreadful team, especially compared to now. It's a world-beating team, but back then he used to lose like stupid games, like here and there. Like he's like, why is he losing this for? But then they trusted that process. Obviously, we're comparing Arsenal to Liverpool. Obviously, we're not near the level of Liverpool.
Patience is required.
It paid, yeah, definitely. Like you saw within the next 4 or 5 years, he won the Champions League and Premier League.
I think the thing with Arsenal and Manchester United is the reason why us fans don't seem to have that much patience in our club is that we've been spoiled, right? Over the last 15, 20 years, we've won numerous championships, FA Cups, Champions League even for United. And to suddenly get that taken away, we just want instant success back, right? We want the old Arsenal back. We want the old Manchester United back.
Yeah, like the classic title
and
races.
We have to understand now, we're not in that same team. Both the teams are not the same as.
Yeah, in a way, we're both fallen giants.
Whereas I guess with Liverpool, when Klopp came in, it was such a bad season. I think one of the season they finished 7th in the league. Nobody was kind of questioning Liverpool or hounding Klopp because Liverpool are kind of used to not winning a lot of trophies, especially the Premier League.
Yeah, it was before the last 2 years.
They're not.
So, unfortunately, the last 2 years.
It's like how bad can it get? Let the guy work and let him keep his job. And I think that's where Klopp thrived, and you can see the benefits of it.
He's won the biggest prize in club football, isn't he? And he's won the Premier League for the first time in the club's history in the Premier League era.
With Arteta and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer coming in, we've been so used to having that instant success.
Yeah, that like solid like experienced manager. Like
we must win the Premier League this season.
Yeah, we're always asking for more because we're a team that we're used to being.
Yeah, we're used to being spoiled. You can say growing up watching us.
Yeah, we're spoiled fans, but we want the best for our clubs.
I think sometimes, like right now, the reality has to set in that. Hang on, we're not going to be neither Arsenal or Manchester United will be challenging for the Premier League for the next 2-3 years. Like we gotta.
And definitely another Champions League for at least the next 3, 4, 5 years, even depending on what business and how.
And we gotta kind of get into that mentality of, you know what, 2-3 years we're not winning shit. Yeah, just let the team play, support the team, let the process work, and then season's time we can turn around and say, hang on, actually you've been given 4 or 5 years. What have you got to show for it, right? I think.
I mean, you have got a lot of patience saying that. 4 or 5 years is a lot of time. People are saying, give it till the end of the season for Arteta. If you can't win anything by the end of the season, then let him go. And I won the FA Cup with Community Shield. People are saying, they ain't fooling me. Some people are saying that. Some people are saying, no, within 10 months, he's won those things. Like, he came into a team that one of the worst teams, worst Arsenal teams in my whole lifetime, for sure, like in the last decade as well. So it's like, you have to trust the process. Like, if you can win the trophy with that team, and when he gets the players he wants to get, and when he develops the young players like Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, then we could end up being a really good team within the next couple of years. So it's quite divisive amongst our fan base, the perception about Arteta at the moment. I don't know about you guys. Is this probably something similar?
The thing with Ole's been at the job for 2 seasons now, 2 years. So we got a bit of an understanding of how he approaches, and with Ole gonna.
Yeah. But you guys have had the patience. That's what a lot of Arsenal fans are saying. Have that with Arteta anyway.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, what I feel, and a lot of is he chops and changes a lot initially, like what Arteta's doing now, and I think he's got done for it quite a lot of times. I think he's coming into a settled team. I think Pogba doesn't work for us. I feel that Pogba is such a good talent.
What do you think about Pogba?
I think he's finished. Where I stand with Pogba right now is he's such a great talent. I want him to do well because I know he can do well. But right now, if he leaves Manchester United, will we miss him now? I don't think I'll miss him.
You don't honestly don't. Is it not good having that depth there in the midfield?
Obviously,
Van der Beek, Matic. I mean, if like someone like Fred or Van der Beek, something like they get injured, they get suspended, who comes in then? Scott McTominay and Nemanja Matic. Would you rather have that?
I mean, obviously, losing Pogba would mean that we'll get money, and I expect them it to be
a lot of money. I don't think you'll make the same money you pay.
I expect it to be reinvested, right? If we do not reinvest it, then I'll be worried. But right now, if Pogba was to leave United, and we end up going and signing a decent midfielder who can develop, I don't think I'll miss Pogba because.
Yeah, it's about
If we do not reinvest and then Pogba leaves, then I will turn around and say, "Oh, the effing Glazers! Like, what are they? Like, which anyone will say."
I know. You're going your rant again.
Yeah. So, but right now, as of this moment, because Pogba hasn't played for a few games now, right? As of right now, I think if Pogba leaves, because we got Bruno Fernandes, the way that he's carrying the team, which Pogba should have done. That's what exactly Pogba should have done. To come in and carry that team. Pogba was never able to carry that team. And it's been 4 years that we're saying the same crap about Pogba. Like,
yeah, I've never been able to say in 4 years, in these last 4 years, that he's been carrying.
Yeah, Bruno has done in less than 1 year. He came in January, right?
Exactly, he came in January. He didn't come at the start.
He has done in less than. This is quite a news as well. He has done more for us as United fans less than Pogba has done in the last 4 years.
At the moment, Bruno
you can say if Bruno gets injured, we are absolutely screwed. Like we're finished.
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. He's quite a talisman for you guys.
Yeah. So okay.
Yeah. And obviously he's playing every single game. Don't forget. So
there will come a point. I think Bruno Fernandes needs to be dropped. I think with the Champions League game.
Well, you mean in this next game that's coming the weekend? You think he should be rested?
Should we move on to the next segment, which is?
Yeah, we might. I think on that note, we should move on.
So I'll start off then, I guess. Both of us are playing on a Sunday. We are playing Southampton away. I think we touched upon it a few weeks ago on episode. And you're playing Wolves
we're playing.
We got a 2 p.m. kickoff United against Southampton.
Yeah, we got
you got the 7:50, which makes sense because you played in the Champions League on Thursday. Sorry,
I wish you were right.
Thank you for correcting me.
I wish you were right about Champions League. Hopefully next season that'll be right.
It's the World Cup Europa League
until we win it. Until we win it, it'll be
right.
Europa League.
So we've got Southampton, and Southampton currently lie in the table after 9 games, 17 points. They're 5th in the table. They've got a decent team.
Yeah. They're having a dream season, and Ralph Hasenhüttl
season, and they got a way of playing that I like and I admire. A couple of clubs in the Premier League, having watched the Premier League for so many years, I like the approach and style of play. Southampton is definitely one of them, and Leicester, obviously, over the last 4 or 5 years, is another team. I think Wolves could be in that position as well, where they don't play defensive. They play a good brand of
football. So one of the dark horses that could sneak into the Europa League.
So Southampton is going to be a tough game. We are playing away. I am comfortable. I haven't done my match preview in my Draco Evolve YouTube channel yet because I tend to do it a day before the game, which is.
You can do it.
I'll talk about it now, and I'll do a proper one tomorrow.
And then you do your own one. Yeah.
I think our away record is really, really good. Right? Our home record is the really poor one, right? Having won. Yeah, in the league.
In the league,
1 game or 2 games is something ridiculous like that.
It's weird. Champions League.
We should play in the Champions League. I think.
Oh, wow. I guess you better be hopeful for PSG when the Champions League at home. But the league
absolutely shambles. Danny, I cry every weekend. I cry every weekend.
At least you guys got creative player number 10. We don't even have that.
Southampton are not going to be an easy team. They're going to be a difficult team. They're in a good position in the league. But I think that the key thing with Southampton is they lost Danny Ings. Or was it last week or week before?
Oh, yeah. Yes. That's surgery.
He is the leader, the top goal scorer, the playmaker, everything. He's the Troy Deeney of Southampton, right? What he does for, was it Watford? Danny Ings does for Southampton. I've got Danny Ings in my fantasy Premier League team. He's been getting me loads of points. That's why I know that he's been performing. He is such a focal point. He's a fighter. I think that loss for Southampton is a huge one. 100 is a huge one. And our centre-back pairing are not the best. So having someone like Danny Ings on the field.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the weak link in your team, man. It's like, especially based on the supposed best 11 the other day against Istanbul. I think the one weak area is like the
centre-back position. So
position, I think. That's probably why you're targeting the defender we signed.
We need a centre-back. 100% we need a centre-back. There was no way around it. Outside of Harry Maguire and Lindelof, who are both average, by the way, we have nobody else.
Well, what about Eric Bailly?
Sorry?
I think he's average as well.
The thing is that Eric Bailly has the potential to be the best defender attacker. He's got power. His problem with him is if you're okay with him playing 3 games a season, then you're fine. He's injured half the time.
Yeah.
He's
a very injury prone, but
was the last time you've seen him play.
Yeah. I was just about to say that. Can't forget the legend.
So going back into the game, we are lying currently in 10th position. A win against Southampton does not take us above Southampton. It does take us 1 point behind.
Yeah.
Yes, we are level on points actually. Us, United, Crystal Palace, and Arsenal. Even with goal difference, we are all on -1. We are actually level. We're like,
even.
We're all lacking.
We're all lacking.
But the one thing is, we United have a game in hand versus you guys. We played.
That's
looking on the table. Southampton have played 9 games, and we played only 8 games. I expect Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to play exactly how we played against Istanbul, which is let go of the shackles a bit.
I reckon
right in the first 30 minutes, let go of the shackle, get a goal or two, get comfortable, then do your counter-attacking football. I think if we approach it like that, I think we're going to win against Southampton. I do feel comfortable against Southampton.
What's your predicted line?
I think it's going to be we're going to see a similar team to what we played. I think exact team. The reason I'm saying exact team is because we played on a Tuesday, right? That's 4 days break. Sunday. So I expect if we played on a Wednesday and we're playing again on like a Saturday, then I expect a change.
You played on Tuesday and then
So I do expect Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to play the full team, because after we play on Sunday, which is an early kickoff, we have PSG on a Wednesday. So we got a few days. Yes, we got.
He might. You got to think he might be keeping that in mind. He might rest one or two.
That's the thing. That the crucial thing is that if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer puts out his strongest team, I feel get a couple of goals because we are capable of doing that. Get a couple of goals, then start resting up players. I think. If he ends up playing a weekend team and then we bloody go and are 1-0 down or chasing the game.
It's about getting the balance right. If that could mess up that.
We are already in a bad position in the Premier League after 9 games or so after the Southampton. So we were actually in the bottom half of the league, and I think with the games coming thick and fast, I think there is no way that you can be complacent in changing too much of your squad or too much of your starting 11. Personally, for me, maybe you can make a case for maybe 1 or 2 changes. Like you can, if you want, keep Rashford or Martial, rest up one of them for the PSG game. We got maybe depth in that position. We got Mason Greenwood and Dan James can do a bit of a
job. And he might wrestle Cavani and then start him against his former club.
And we're stacked in midfield, so maybe you can rotate. We got Fred and McTominay. Fred has been on fantastic form. Maybe give Fred a bit of a break because I think he'll be a key player against PSG. But I think United should go for it. My predicted scoreline, I think we're gonna.
What do you think?
We're gonna concede at one point. We just can't keep clean sheets at the moment, right? It's gonna be a close game. But I think at the end it's gonna be comfortable for us. I think it's gonna be a 3-1 Manchester United against Southampton. That's what I feel.
That's a very confident prediction. It's going to be very, very
different. I would have said a different scoreline. I think my approach would have been so much different if Danny was fit. I think then I would be like, oh, hang on. You know what? They've got he's actually a good player. He's a talent.
Who else? Who they have in the front line? I think that they have Che Adams, who's okay.
They have a couple of pockets of decent players, but I think when you take away Danny Ings, that's like 70% of the goals.
It's not the same. It's just like one
he's scored 70 or 80% of the goals so far this season. Like he's been.
Even they've got creative play on James Ward-Prowse. He's having a nice time in the league this season as well. Like you can see how far up they are. Like they're having a nice time up there. But you guys should be probably confident going into that. I don't think so as much with us. Should I start?
I was going to ask you straight into what are you feeling for the game?
It's a very, very mixed kind of fish at the moment, especially with how we've been, like I said before, how we've been lacking in creativity. We still don't have anyone there that's going to, I don't think, can step up and really string those passes together. But I think that against Wolves, they used to, like past 2 seasons, they've been really quality.
Yes, absolutely.
When they had the likes of, when they had like obviously they've sold Diogo Jota now, but he was quality. Even without him,
they actually were doing well. They're 9th on the table.
They're always somehow, since they've been promoted from the Championship in, I think it was 2018, they've always maintained it's usually a top half finish, isn't it? They made the Europa League the previous season, they made all the way to the quarters against Sevilla, so they're a pretty decent team, make no mistake about it. They're probably going to be up there, and they've got the likes of, even though they sold Jota, they've got the likes of Jimenez, they've got Adama Traore, Daniel Podence is also. Ruben Neves,
players.
yeah. Even João Moutinho is a good veteran player. Yeah, they got some good, and they got obviously a good coach as well. Like I remember he was linked with the Arsenal job. He was one of the many that was linked when Unai Emery got sacked.
Can I stop you right here? While we're talking about his coach, I genuinely thought he was Bengali at one point. Like Imam or something, you know.
He actually does it. That's what I was thinking as well. Like, I don't know. He does look Bengali, especially like he's one of those old wise Bengali.
Anyway, sorry, carry on. Yes.
Yeah, we digress, but yeah, like they're a great team, but it just depends. Again, with Arsenal, it's hard to predict what kind of team will turn up.
Yeah.
We can start our best team. Well, is the tactics going to be right from Arteta? Are they going to be like fired up for it? But one thing I do want to touch on, I don't want Alex Lacazette to start.
Talk to me about
people are saying that he should be. Why? He should. People are saying he should be moved on. Like yesterday, we gave him a chance in the Europa League. We actually dropped him from the Premier League team last week against Leeds United because he's been misfiring. Like he ain't the same. He ain't the 2017 Lacazette anymore. The one 2018, the one that just fired goals for fun under Unai Emery, even under Arsene Wenger in his last season. Like I think he just reached that age where he just, I don't know, the mentality ain't right with him. Like even if you look at his face at the start of a match, if he's like looking all like miserable, you just know he's going to drop a zero. Like a lot of fans have been saying that. Like if his like attitude isn't right, he doesn't feel like at the moment. So right now, obviously, I've always sang gospel about starting Aubameyang up front. He finally did that against Leeds United. I still think we should stick with that. I think the best of a bad situation is hopefully. I don't know if Thomas Partey is back from injury yet, but if he is, I'd say straight back into the lineup. Again, obviously Mo El Neni as well. If he comes back, I think either him or Dani Ceballos. I think in terms of it's the best of a bad situation in terms of a creative player because Dani Ceballos he's come from Real Madrid on loan. He's learned from the best. He's good at opening up the play and whatnot. He's not exact. He's a good player. He's got a lot of potential as well. Like. Yeah, he's got a good engine, got a lot of good stamina. He's quite silky on his day. But he's another
Dani Ceballos, right? If he wasn't playing for Real Madrid, if he was playing for any other clubs in the world, I think he will not come on loan. The other club will actually give him a chance. The problem with Real Madrid is that they want to keep the star players and let everyone else.
Yeah, and he's Spanish. He's like homegrown. They want to keep hold of him. And plus, our team didn't want to even pay for him. Like if he paid for him, his valuation is probably around 50. It's probably like how Partey is. Because he's still only 24, I think he is. So he's quite young, and he's one for the future. Like he could probably step in for likes of Toni Kroos is getting on a bit now.
Toni Kroos,
Luka Modric. I think that's the way the Real Madrid end up looking at it. But I remember Ceballos saying that he went to the Real Madrid president and said, "I want to go back to Arsenal at least on loan for another season." And I don't think our board is going to give us the money to sanction a deal like him. But I think for right now he's the ideal player to go in that position. I say Partey and stuff. I think we should experiment with that. I think we should start Bukayo Saka. And like I said before, I don't know why Arteta keeps starting Willian. Like since he's came, he's been really like below average. Like besides, I think the opening game against Fulham, he was really good. Like he made a good first lasting impression. People are saying hopefully this is not the purple patch Willian we saw at Chelsea, where one game he's playing really well, and another he just drops a stinker. But it looks like he's carried that over here and. Like I wasn't a huge fan of the signing. I thought he was okay, signing off a rival, but he was getting on 32. He's a veteran, but obviously Nicolas Pepe is suspended now. I think he probably will start him anyway now. But me personally, I know Reece Nelson played for the Europa League the other day. He's a youngster. He's fresh. He's got the hunger. He's like Daniel James for you guys. Like, he's young. He's got the hunger, isn't he? So, me personally, I'd go with him. But I think Arteta again. I know I always say it, but I think he's going to go with Willian and the wings.
Yeah.
I think Partey, Ceballos, and one other midfielder, maybe Granit Xhaka, or maybe he might give Joel Willock a chance, maybe one for the youth. And I think the back line, I think, is going to be... I hope that he brings David Luiz back, but I think that he's really injury prone. Like every other game, he's getting injured now. I know he's at that age now. He's getting on, just like Willian, he's getting on. He's quite injury prone, but I think out of our defenders, it's the best of a bad situation. Him and David Luiz would be a good Brazilian partnership.
I'm gonna ask you for your predicted scoreline. However, there's a bit of a twist. Okay, I'm gonna ask you now for your predicted scoreline, but then I'm gonna read you some stats. Then I'm gonna ask you again for your predicted scoreline if you choose. What's your predicted scoreline? Arsenal versus Wolves.
So I've named my predicted lineup. I think that's how we have to improvise and go about it. Kieran Tierney and Bellerin on the fullback, I think. Leno in goal, and I think that predicted score will be. It's really hard to predict this, you know. I know we're lacking creativity. I feel like these boys might turn up, but the thing with me, I'm really optimistic about this team, and sometimes the optimism is too much. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think maybe it might be a draw, which I'll be disappointed by, like a 1-1 draw, maybe a tight 1-1, or we might nick a 2-1, especially if we play Aubameyang up front and we have the likes of Dani Ceballos.
So you got to pick one score, 1-1 or 2-1.
I can't just say one or the other.
You're gonna have to.
Look, as Arsenal fan, I want to say that we'll win, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll say 2-1.
Okay, so I'm going to read you out some stats. Then we will come back to your predicted scoreline again and see if you changed your mind, right? So don't say anything. I'm just going to read out some stats, okay? So Arsenal have only lost one of the past 23 games against Wolves. 23 games in all competitions, right? Only lost once, okay? So Wolves are winless in 9 away league games against Arsenal. So in the last 9 games, Wolves have not won against Arsenal. Okay. So before we come back to your, hold on, I got more. Before you come back to your predicted lineup, let me carry on. Yeah. Okay.
Oh wow.
In regards to Wolves, only Spurs have the better defensive record this season than Wolves. So Wolves have the second best defensive record this season. However,
oh wow, that's contradictory.
However, they've only scored 9 goals. So they played 8-9.
So they're lacking in creativity, but they're good defense.
They kept similar to us, clean sheets in the Premier League in 2020, more than any other team. So defensively, they are fantastic.
Oh no.
Okay, so I'm going to read you a couple of more stats, then we come back to your predicted scoreline. Okay. After a 10-game unbeaten run in the league matches in London, Wolves have lost the last 2 in the capital by an aggregate score of 6-0. So the last 2 games they played in London, whether it's Arsenal, Chelsea, whatever, they've been absolutely abysmal. Yeah. Okay? So as to Arsenal, okay?
Yeah. Now ask us.
Sorry. Arteta's side have only 13 points after 9 matches. The lowest point tally after 10 Premier League fixtures is 14, set in 92 and 95, right? So
this is why you have that
they've actually failed to reach double figures for goals after 9 matches for 34 years. So the overall concept is that Wolves cannot score. Arsenal cannot score. However, Wolves have a very bad record against London clubs, okay? And Arsenal actually have only lost 1 in the last 23 games against Wolves. So you said 2-1 to Arsenal, I believe.
Yeah, you gave one side and then you went on the other side.
I thought I'd give a bit.
That was sneaky. That was clever.
Now, do you change your scoreline, or are you sticking to your guns?
We do need a win in the Premier League. We need a win in the Premier League. Like it's crucial. So it's hard to say. I don't know if you can disappoint me or not. It's so hard to predict with
for me, right? I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be a draw. I think it's going to be 1-1. Like how you said in the.
Yes, I was dabbling between
only
1-1
because
and 2-1, you know.
Wolves have a very strong defensive record, right? However, they can't score anything up front for themselves as well, right? I don't think they'll keep a clean sheet because Arsenal have a very good attack. You know, I do like Arsenal's attack, but Arsenal because they are playing home. I do feel that they're going to get a goal at some point of the game.
You say that, but look what happened in the last couple of matches home against Leicester City. We lost 1-0. I think a late Vardy goal, and then 3-0 at home to Villa, which is another Midlands team, which is not expected to do particularly well. Even though
I think Arsenal will be a little bit more tired than Wolves because Wolves don't have the Europa League.
Yeah, they don't this season. Yeah, that's another thing that you have to factor. I know we played, like I said before, our youngsters we played, so that's the advantage of playing Europa League. But I still think that there will be some fatigue and. I don't know. We're lacking some motivation.
I think we're going to see a 1-1 result.
Yeah, I'll probably change my prediction to 1-1. No. To think about it, my heart thinks 2-1, but my head thinks 1-1 because right now we're just not.
And Wolves have a good defensive record. So I don't think they'll concede 2 goals. They keep the most clean sheets in the whole of 2020. So they're going to be hard to break down. Awesome. Thank you, Danny, for the predicted match preview, you can say. topic.
Yeah, can I just say one last thing? There is one player that we do need back in the lineup. That is Gabriel Martinelli. Like, he was firing before.
Yeah.
He got a long-term injury, and he's one of the young forwards that. I just want to say that. Like, I think he's something that could help our creativity going forward. But he's going on next
fair
month.
play. So the last bit of, I know we're reaching close to an hour mark, so just.
Yeah, I did want to touch on the
say that you read my mind.
The fans returning.
So what are your thoughts in the tier system?
It's a bit weird, isn't it? Like, you got some areas. Yeah. I think it's a bit unfair. Like, you got some areas that, like the Midlands, you got the Wolves, Aston Villa.
I think we lost Danny. Did we lose Danny? I'll carry on. So while he still connects, so in some areas, for me personally, the tier system is a bit of a joke, because some areas are allowed to have fans in them, whereas the other areas do not have any fans in them. So there's a huge advantage to the home team. So I did read a report somewhere that Tottenham will get the Arsenal-Tottenham game coming up in December. Spurs will be allowed to get about 2,000 fans into the stadium, which is a bit of an unfair. You can definitely see it as a home advantage. And I don't think having some stadiums or some clubs not get any fans at all versus some clubs will get, even if it's 500 fans, it's a bit of an advantage, an unfair advantage. And I don't agree with that system. Back again.
Yeah, sorry about the technical
issues. That's fine. You're the master editor. You'll edit it out. But
don't worry.
You're talking about the tier system.
Yeah, he was on the last segment, I believe, just about the tiers, and you were saying about you don't agree with the system.
Yeah, so
carry on from there.
In my opinion, so I don't agree with the system. The reason being is because some teams will get an unfair advantage, whether it's 10 fans in the stadium allowed, or 1,000 fans or 2,000 fans, right?
Yeah,
an example is, I read a report that Spurs are going to be inviting 2,000 of their fans against the game against Arsenal. That's coming up in about a couple of weeks' time.
We will be doing that as well, because we're London clubs. I don't know.
Oh, fair play.
Are you in tier 3 or?
We are in tier 2 in London at the moment. So.
Oh yeah, London's tier 2. That's why they're allowing the fans. But what about your club is Manchester United?
So imagine us as a Manchester United fans, right? We're gonna go. The club is gonna go and play someone like a London club, like, I don't know, an Arsenal. And you guys are allowed to have 2,000 fans in there or so. And the reverse fixture, we have no fans in there. As an example, I know we've played already once. I feel that's an unfair advantage. That's definitely an unfair advantage. And I think the government or whoever's making the rules should reconsider that. Because I do understand that, we want to go and see the games, and it's been such a long time that we want to be in the stadium. Or we want to watch a football game that has fans in the stadium, natural fans.
Yeah, it's good for the atmosphere.
Yes.
That's one positive way of looking at it, but I think it's more negative than positive.
Yes, but just the virus is still out there. It just needs one person in that stadium.
And then that's enough to be able to multiply the transmission. Like,
I mean, we went through the whole year, pretty much the whole year, with no fans. Or no football. We just got 4 more weeks to deal with that, right? So why not why not for 4 weeks? Just don't let fans in. Like, don't.
Yeah, I mean, there's no guarantee that COVID will go in 2021.
Yeah. There is no guarantee. But with the vaccine so close now.
Yeah. Surely by maybe next spring, maybe.
Surely.
We should be.
To sum that up, tier system, I think is a farce. I think it does throw an unfair advantage to the teams that's able to get fans into the stadium.
Yeah, like Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs, and you got
fans can drive. The difference between fans is the difference between drawing and winning a game.
Yeah, it could well be, like, in terms of the motivation for the players. Yeah, and when you look at, like, say like, I don't know, we're home. And we welcome Wolves. We probably ain't gonna have fans for that game, but say Wolves aren't allowed fans. We know that, even in their home stadium, but they're coming to us, and we've actually got the fans behind us. That could give us more of a motivation.
It could be a mental edge, right?
Yeah, a mental edge. And you got to look at the fact that teams like West Brom and Villa, they're struggling now in the Midlands.
And they're not
gonna have any fans because they're in tier 3. I know United and City, they're more better off. United do need the push as well, but teams like West Brom, who's fighting survival, they're not going to have any fans.
That's actually a good point. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Teams that are fighting survival will not have any fans. They're already at a disadvantage. They'll be even more as a disadvantage.
Yeah, another disadvantage is that how are they going to filter out like who's more of a hooligan, who's more of a orderly fan, if you want to say. Like there's some fans are more aggressive than others. Let's just say how are they going to be able to filter that? Against limited numbers.
You make good points, but my thing going back is that it just needs one person to have the virus. Look, it's not just about in the stadium. It's not just about in the stadium, right? Yeah. You're potentially going to have 2,000 fans in the stadiums, but those 2,000 fans, before they go into stadium, they're going to be out and about locally. They're going to be going to the pubs. They're going to be going to the restaurants, even after the game.
Match day snacks.
After the game, they're going to be going out. They're not going to be going straight home, are they? So there is a more of a risk of spreading it. And if one...
and you got... You multiply the transmission. And there's another thing is, like, even during this whole, like, football lockdown, you can say, in the sense of all the games being played behind closed doors, like a lot of players... and like coaches and whatnot, I've been testing positive with the virus. You got Salah, Mane, El Neni. That's just to name a few. It's quite a load, over the months. And if those few people in the games are getting infected, then what do you imagine is going to happen with some hooligans?
Exactly. And that goes back to the bigger picture, right? The NHS is stretched as it is, right? To open up stadiums for match day, and then have the virus spread even more. It's gonna have a devastating impact. I think, just to conclude it on my part, I think it's a bad idea. As much as we love to see fans for the atmosphere, as much as we want to go to the stadium, I think in the overall scope of it, being away from football for so long during lockdown, etc., I think I'm okay to wait another few more weeks.
Obviously it's a bit of a downer not having atmosphere in matches, but at least we just got to count our blessings. At least the football's been playing during this pandemic. Like since I think it was since June they brought it back, and they've been trying their best to keep it going. So we got to appreciate that. But I think I can live with fans just for a couple more months maybe. Until
a couple more months. I think I can live with that. I'll just watch I'll just listen to the generic fan noise that they put on the TV. That's actually good enough for me. That's enough for me for the time being.
I'm not too.
As long as there's football on.
As long as there's football, as long as we're watching our teams play, and if they start improving their performances, perhaps without the need for fans there. I know we're gonna have 2,000 fans there, but like I say, look, we still need within our own squad, our roster, we need much more improvement. So
exactly.
That's me.
Well, that pretty much wraps up episode 4. Lot that we discussed. A lot
we touched on today. Going into another crucial game week.
Yes, another crucial game week coming up. Looking ahead to episode 5, I believe next week, is it?
Do you reckon we can get a guest for that one?
I've got a couple of subjects that I do want to talk about next week. Obviously, one of the subjects will be the game against PSG, the match review, you can say.
The review after aftermath. And then the big one for us is, I think we've got Spurs that week.
Yes, so I was just going to say it's a massive game. We'll talk about
Arteta against Jose Mourinho.
We'll talk about how what's the success behind what Jose Mourinho is doing now. Just for preview, we'll have a bit of a segment around Mr. Mourinho himself. We'll have a segment around our midweek games, as well as this weekend's match reviews, obviously. And in regards to the footballing world, I do want to talk about Barcelona next week. What's happening?
They're still stuttering. And still Messi's being forced to stay.
If you have anything else during the week, obviously we'll add.
Obviously, aside from our clubs as well, like obviously there's a lot of issues with that within our clubs. We've both got process to trust, and there's a lot of stuff happening in Europe and in the rest of the game. That's obviously what this podcast is about. So it's not just our clubs. Superb.
Thank you, Danny, for hosting this. It was a pleasure.
I tried my best to direct the play, like Mikel Arteta.
This is available in my channel. It's going to get uploaded after it gets uploaded on our podcast, which is
on all the major platforms. Spotify, Apple,
and the title of it is Gunner and a Devil, and this will be
streaming
uploaded hopefully by midnight in my channel at Draco.
By the end of Friday night.
And
tonight.
Follow me on Twitter at Draco Evolve to stay updated there as well. What's your Twitter name, Mr. DNA?
Mine's Mr. DNA 007.
Yeah, so follow us. So give us a follow, guys. It is in its infancy, and over the last 4 weeks, or this is the 4th one we've done.
Yeah, the episodes are slowly accumulating.
And
Quality
the
content
quality and the
accumulating.
flow of the conversation is better.
Yeah, I think we've both become more confident, especially me. Like I was very like you can say shy at the start.
Yeah.
It's my first doing any kind of like commentary on like any podcast, something like
I
that.
do have a plan. I do have some plan, right? Which possibly I will talk to you on the side and see if you are interested in it. It's something to do with Twitch. So just as a quick touch overview, is Twitch has a huge area on the podcasting section. Their podcast and just chatting section is the number one. It's huge. And
is there another area we could perhaps upload?
The thing is that we can't upload things on Twitch. The thing is, Twitch is all about live stream. So, see the segments we do every Friday. We can potentially create a joint Twitch channel, or you can create a separate one. I'll create a separate one. I have one already, but we can certainly create a joint one and share that Twitch platform. And then we can do a Friday podcast straight onto that, like legit straight onto that. Take the highlights.
Yeah. And I can take the audio.
It's so much easier on Twitch as well. It's so much easier on Twitch as well. Legit.
I already follow your Football Manager stream.
Yes, I saw you. Big shout out to you. I did give you a shout out when I went live when I saw your. Mr. DNA.
I don't know if I saw that.
I recognized the name straight away. But this is just my thinking in the background. Maybe obviously the best thing.
Yeah, maybe we need to open maybe some social media like joint like for the podcast.
I think like that would be a good idea to have a joint social media platform.
You can have the Arsenal and United news.
Yes, and somewhere if we're gonna like how we're talking now for an hour, if I used to live stream it on our Twitch channel, then we can get followers from there. We can direct the followers into our podcast, whatever's easy for them. But it's
get some messages, guests.
It's just the thinking behind it, and obviously I'm pretty competent at the setup on Twitch, so I can easily do the channel art.
Yeah, you can just introduce me. That's
all that, and you're very competent on the podcasting side, so we can combine both our expertise and create a big baby.
Yeah, combine the dynamic duo.
Yeah. But that's something that was running in my head last couple of days. I will message you, Danny, obviously on the side over the coming weeks. See what the idea is, see what's the benefit will be, and take it from there. Really.
Yeah, fantastic. Then, fantastic ideas.
Thank you, Danny. I am going to shoot off.
Thank you. Thank you, my bro. You will sign on that.
I'm going to sign off, and thanks for everyone that's been listening.
Thanks for the support as well. Thank you, Draco, for doing this with me.
Thank you, Danny, as well, for actually inviting me and coming up with an idea of this. So it's brilliant.
Thanks, Danny. Yes, brilliant project.
Hey guys, bye.
See you, bro. See you in the next one. Bye.